Yeah, excited about tomorrow night. Draft time is always exciting. We had the 53rd pick. Fingers crossed that we can find a good young player to add to a core we're pretty excited about. Yeah, any questions?
What's the estimated time of the 53rd pick taking place?
I would say I have no idea. It's a great question. It's so fast in the second round. I wish a 2-day draft would be a lot of fun.
You pitched that last year. That's terrible.
Yeah, thanks. Terrible idea. They need more content. See what's going to be on NBA TV Friday night.
That far down in the draft, what are your priorities?
Really good guy, someone that can fit culturally. I think oftentimes if you see the picks that make it in the second round, it's who the person is as much as the talents. So I think we'll probably prioritize a guy that can further add to the culture.
Tim, when you're down there, I mean, how much prep are you doing in case there's an opportunity that you can get into the first round? And how would you handicap your conversation so far on the likelihood of something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've done countless mock drafts. You got to know every player, not just for tomorrow night, but for the future. Right? The more you know him, the draft, the better you know him for any potential acquisitions down the line. We've had a lot of conversations. I don't think anything is close for us to getting in the first round, but generally, a lot of the calls are kind of theoretical until the last 24 hours. So we'll see. Well, I think we're always focused on the next couple months while having a long-term approach, right? You want to. We're pretty excited about where we're going to be next year. We think we're going to continue to grow off some of the things we did good last year and hopefully improve in the areas where we struggled. But you can't ignore the long-term financial realities. So, again, I think it's really dependent on the move. It's dependent on how big an impact that player, that trade could potentially make. I think that'll change kind of our ability or how we view spending.
What's your level?
We have to have a long-term approach to everything, but we're really excited about next October. We have a gym full of guys right now. The energy's been fantastic. Again, we have a great coaching staff, great ownership, so we're really fired up about next year. And I do think at times you can be overly focused on the 3 to 5 years out and not thinking what it's going to be like, October 28th at Target Center.
I know you said it might be hard to move up given your position, but do those talks, have they already started? How quickly do they come together on a draft night? I mean, in terms of opportunity rather than planning on draft, I guess.
Yeah, we've talked to every team several times. I think the majority of the time, up to the last 24 hours, is just kind of a lot of jabbing, a lot of conversations are going to go nowhere. But I would imagine we'll see some trades in the next 24 hours. And certainly the day of the draft, it becomes pretty active as guys slide, as teams looking to move up, as teams make trades and potentially get out of the draft altogether. So generally, you see the trades really happen the day of.
Tim, seeing a bunch of guys in here for this early, what's it been like, and just kind of the work that I guess they're already starting to put in and being locally here in the gym?
Yeah, the coach has done a great job being very specific with kind of expectations, both on the court, in the weight room. Javar's done a great job of what we should look like. I think collectively we all felt like we left a lot on the table last year. So we challenged our guys to get in here early, to get in here often, and be around each other as much as possible. So that's been really cool to see. I think these guys have a couple trips planned outside of market to go have some fun, work out elsewhere. But guys really like being in Minnesota in the summer. So we have a couple guys that have recently moved to new houses. That kind of speaks to their commitment to not just the team but the community. So it's pretty similar. And then it's been fun to get to know some of the new guys and girls I work with in the front office. People I knew from afar but didn't know well. So yeah, it's fun. This time of year is fun. It's complete guesswork. Anyone who tells you they've had the draft figured out should go the other way. So again, fingers crossed. I think we're ready to make an informed decision. Hopefully, it's not an informed mistake. But when you're drafting 53rd, I think we have to be realistic with the expectation level. I don't know if you guys have looked at the 53rd picks historically. It's not a murderer's row of NBA guys, but we think we can add someone that can eventually help us. So it's fun.
What stations with other teams, do you segment? Is it draft talk or is it also potential trade talk, free agency talk? I mean, do you cover the waterfront, or do you just basically limit it to certain things?
No, it's all the same. I mean, it's, again, some conversations are more transparent and honest, and some people in our seats like to be a little more, a little more CIA-ish. So it's, you talk to all your peers and see if there's anything that can make each other better. I think the best deals make both teams better. So yeah, when you have those talks where you're at the draft, are you going to hold on the picks? A lot of teams with multiple picks, so I think we'll see a lot of movement, late first or early second. I think a lot of those picks will change hands, and then part and parcel with that, you talk about rosters and who do you like, who do we like, and said 99% of those calls go nowhere, and maybe 1% can lead to something.
How much easier is it to move up in earlier parts of the second round than get a first round pick?
Much easier. Yeah, much easier. You get to 29 and 30, I don't think it's a huge difference. Some people can make the argument that 31 is better than 30 because of the lack of cost certainty, so be more creative relative to contract structure. But yeah, much easier to get in the second than anything in the first.
So if there's somebody you value as a top 20 player and they fall in the 32, 33 range, it's attainable to go make that kind of jump.
Yeah, everything's. I think the early second, there's a lot of picks in play. It's just what's the price. This time of year, I know I suffer from it. You kind of get draft fever, and you think there's 70 really good players, and you look at the draft from 2 years ago and see how many of those guys have already changed teams. Some are out of the league. Some aren't getting options picked up. So, yeah, that certainly though. There's we have a board, and if we think a guy is has dropped an area we can move up into, and we think he's undervalued, we'd be pretty aggressive.
Tim, at the end of the season, you and Finchy both said really looking forward to running back essentially with Cat, with Rudy, with everything. Has anything changed from then to now on that plan or your view of keeping that core group together?
No, our pretty strong guess is we have a core and we're excited to run it back. You guys watched out the games. There were some highs, there's some lows. Our kind of inability to win enough games versus teams that had worse records really came back to bite us. When you look at recap our season, we were disappointed that we were in the play-in. We were disappointed that we were on the road to start the play-in. And you can point to specific games where we just, we weren't good enough. And then you looked at long stretches of basketball, we thought we looked like a viable team. So we're pretty excited about our core. Again, I think Finchy's an elite coach, and having the year under his belt and hopefully a healthy, year, we think we can be pretty good.